Okay, we're all set.
So good morning, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It is 9:01 Eastern Standard Time. Uh, we do have a quorum. I see all of the committee members present. Um, First item of business today is the approval of the minutes from the June 11th meeting. So hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to review those for any suggestions for edits or anything like that. If you have, I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve, Lisa.
I'll support.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Can we get a roll call vote? Jamie, will you be handling that for us today?
I will. I probably won't do as good of a job as Marcy, but okay. So roll call vote. We'll start with Brett.
Yes.
Jamie.
Yes, here.
Don.
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Okay, so the minutes have been the motion has passed and the minutes for the June 11th meeting have been approved. The next item on the agenda is a committee deliberation. So I will open the floor. Is there any formality in the way that we do this? We're just going to have open conversation. Jamie, is that how we're okay? Unfortunately, I was not able to attend the hearing. I was out of town in travel status, so I was not able to attend. I did review the YouTube video and the documents from both charters. Got some really good information about both. I'm really excited about both schools, just starting a school for their prospective communities. But I will open the floor for any of my committee members if those that were present, if there were things that were outstanding to you or something that you want to point on or need clarity from. I believe we have representatives from both charters present. Am I correct? Okay. So if anyone wants to start the conversation or to give their input or feedback from the public hearing.
Lisa, if I may, I have a clarifying question for Larry Garatoni that I may have missed from the presentation last week.
Okay.
Mr. Garatoni, of the schools that you're currently operating in South Bend, do any of them have a wait list?
Some of the classes do, some of the grades do, not all the grades are filled.
Okay. Of the grades that have a wait list, approximately how many students are on them?
I'm going to let Alex, can you?
Yeah, we had, I would say of the different grade levels, I think we had three grade levels of the wait list. And I would say that's probably approximately 25 students.
25 students. Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else that has anything to add or a question for any of the charters?
Lisa, I have a question. I don't know if it's not necessarily for the charter people, but you folks that live up in that area. Are there any other charter school providers in South Bend besides the Career Network Academy or the Career Academy Network?
Well, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I take it back. Purdue Polytechnic, I do apologize. I didn't mean to slight them, Purdue Polytechnic. They just
Okay.
opened up last year.
Okay, that's the only other provider then.
Well, then we've got Excel, the Goodwill school, but of course that focuses on high school dropouts, as you probably know.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, so do our committee members feel like they have enough information, or do we need to discuss, Jamie, pros and cons or anything like that, or are we confident in the information that we've received.
So since this is uncharted territory for
I
all of you,
Okay.
you can discuss this however you guys want.
Okay.
I definitely think, I think it's important to identify if you all have all the information you need. Are there still some gaps in your knowledge that we need to try to fill, either with supplemental information or with the feedback from the two operators on the call today. Additionally, I don't know if anybody has any feedback about the public hearings, comments that you received from the public. So this is entirely, in your ballpark here, how you guys want to deliberate upon this.
Okay. So I will ask any of my committee members if there is anything out there that stood out to you for one way or the other, if there is anything that may have been questionable for you, or
I'll start by just sharing that I think the community support and parental support with Paramount was, above and beyond, in my opinion. That really stood out with me. That they have so many success stories and so much backing for what they have provided previously in other areas with other families and students. So having a duplicative model, I think would only enhance that, especially in an area that does not have a lot of charters right now.
Okay, I agree with that, Jamie. I did see an overwhelming support from the community and the parents, and I would like to see some student perspectives as well. Those are always interesting to see what students feel their schools are lacking, so, or the great things about their schools as well. So I do concur your sentiments as well. Trying to see if there's anything for me. For me, I look at, especially if a school is already established, I'll look at the success. And I did see a lot of academic success on behalf of Paramount. I would like to ask either one of the charters, have they experienced a renovation that this capacity? Have they ever been involved in or had to conduct a renovation this size?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Larry. I've spent more than 35 years doing real estate development, and have many projects behind me. And actually, I led the development of these two schools that were basically big shells. And then we just recently put an addition on the building that we're in right now because of the need. So I've had extensive experience, and we have a other team that we work with on several buildings. And actually, our director of facilities here worked in construction for about 25 years as a job superintendent. So we have a great deal of depth in that area.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garatoni.
On the Paramount side, we've just completed a $10 million renovation of a historic building built in it was originally built in 1903. That renovation we did actually during COVID, which was fairly amazing in terms of what has to happen logistically for all of that. We are also in a $30 million renovation of the original Duracell factory here in Indianapolis with Purdue Polytechnic High School. And then our original building, our flagship building, was a $6.5 million renovation of an old Masonic temple that we brought back to life for the neighborhood. So we're very familiar with the process and believe wholeheartedly in bringing a building back to its full potential.
Okay, thank you.
Lisa, may I ask a question of Tommy?
Yes, please.
Great. Tommy, your Paramount's track record is impressive, as well as your partners with IFF and your other funders, and wonderful partnerships. And certainly appreciate the desire to grow outside of Indianapolis. How did you identify South Bend as an area for growth? Is that something where you thought you had something to offer there, or did people from the community reach out to you to invite you in?
You know, it was twofold. South Bend has gone through a bit of a reorganization of their school corporation. So the South Bend Community School Corporation has been working with the Mind Trust and has been working internally to try to reorganize their district. And their efforts have led to very similar thoughts of what's going on in Indianapolis in terms of creating an innovation network where the school district in their desire to pare down some buildings and to create a better system of scale, there's potentially some landscape there for partnerships with charter schools similar to Indianapolis. That really is what drew us that direction. And as a school organization, we're looking for areas in the state that have pockets of struggling students where we can come in and apply our model. And that was also something that drew us to South Bend, where, you know, the student performance was fairly low in the state, and we thought that's an area where we could apply our expertise. So between kind of the reorganization of the district and student performance, that's where it ticked the boxes for our green lighting for an area of expansion.
Okay, great. But just so I'm clear, you didn't have a community organization or a group of parents reach out to you to invite you in?
No, outside of Purdue Polytechnic High School, who is a partner of ours already in South Bend, that would be the only one.
Okay, and since the time that you selected South Bend as an area for potential expansion, and again, I agree with my colleagues on the committee, your commitment to the communities that you're currently operating in came through very well. Have you started any enrollment development activities or cultivating, levels of community support for the proposed academy?
No, we haven't. We finished our strategic planning almost simultaneously with the release of the information of this school opportunity. So it's very new for us.
Okay, great, thank you.
So Career Academy is already established in South Bend. Am I correct? Is that what I remember reading? Okay. And so what more would the school add to what you're already doing? What would the school do for just a summary of what obtaining this school would do for your vision for the community?
You're asking the Career Academy folks?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Our ultimate goal is the Indiana Chamber of Commerce published a study a couple of years ago indicating that a school corporation needed to be at least 2,000 students in order to adequately serve the needs of their students, in order to have a selection of courses and also for the long-term financial viability. So part of our strategic plan, and it's listed under goal number 5, is to ultimately get to 2,000 students. And by adding more student capacity at the K-5 level, then it funds obviously our middle school and our high school. And our goal is to actually develop a middle school that we would put in another building, so that would free up more capacity both at the high school level and the middle school level. So getting Tarkington would be part of our overall long-term strategy of developing a long-term, very financially viable school system, and giving us the ability to offer all the courses that we want to in order to feed our STEM program.
Okay.
Can I ask a follow-up?
If I might add, if in our goal number 5, we did indicate that we wanted to get to 2,000 student enrollment.
Okay. Larry, as a follow-up to that, with a growth plan of 2,000 students and only a wait list of 25 across all grades right now, what evidence do you have that the demand is there from parents that you can achieve that?
Well, by being in Tarkington is a different part of the area, and obviously we're not able to. Tarkington is the opposite side of South Bend. We're on the west side, and Tarkington is the east side, so we would draw a whole new population. And we're not in a position to offer transportation, so that it's some task to get students to the Success Academy, our current K-5 school, and even more so with our middle and high school. But we run analysis of where our students come from. And our students are focused predominantly around Success Academy for our K-5, but we also get students from pretty far away. So we think that the demand is here. When we opened Success Academy almost 6 years ago, it was filled the day we opened. So we think that we would have a strong probability of filling it.
Mr. Garatoni, my understanding is that Tarkington just closed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any feedback from the current families that attend there as to whether they would continue to attend as a charter school?
No, we have not. It would be, I guess, premature for us to go and talk to the families. We have no way of contacting them either. Tarkington had about 200 students in it right now, I guess, at the end of the school year. But South Bend did some changing. They moved the Tarkington school students over to another school and then moved some other students into Tarkington. So Tarkington has had kind of a mixed up path. So I don't know if that would be indicative or not.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
If I could offer one comment, we probably neglected in asking the parents to support us and tune into the last meeting. But if you check Facebook and all the other public documents as to where people indicate their support of school, we've got a very positive parent relationship. And we recently did some marketing studies, and our parents are very complimentary, indicating that we treat their students as individuals, and we tailor a great deal of our education to meet the specific needs of their students. So by and large, I think we've got a very happy group of parents.
That's great. Thank you, Larry. Okay, does anyone else have any other questions? Any of our other committee members? So do you all feel confident enough to make a recommendation?
Lisa, if it's okay with you, I'd like to share a few comments. You know, I think it's only fair to these folks from Career Academy and Paramount that we give them a little bit of our thinking as to why we make the decision that we do. So, you know, they both put a lot of time, a lot of effort into this.
Definitely.
And I feel like, at least on my part, that I want to share some thoughts. So I wrote down a few things that I'd like to share. You know, first of all, I would say that I think both would provide, they would use the building very well in providing services for the children there in South Bend. So I think whatever decision we make is going to be a good decision because both would serve the children there well. It's always nice to have two excellent candidates to choose from, and that's where we are.
Could everyone please mute? I'm getting a lot of feedback and can't hear everything Brett's saying.
Okay, is that better? Okay, thank you, Lisa. You know, I think the question then is who would better serve the community there where Tarkington Elementary School is. You know, I like the fact that the Career Academy is focused on South Bend. I think that certainly is something that's in their favor. I like the fact that they have an established high school partner already in place. And I also was impressed with the oversight that is provided by Trine University. I think the folks at Trine there do a real nice job. Sounds to me like there's frequent, you know, visitations to the school, time spent there, the kinds of things that a provider should do. So kudos to them on that. The public comment I found to be very interesting. And, you know, as a past school administrator, when I interviewed people and then I talked to references, I wanted to hear the words excellent and outstanding used to describe that individual. And that was, you know, as we listened to parents and just various people that testified on behalf of Paramount, those words we heard over and over again. So, you know, I have no doubt in my mind that they are excellent and outstanding providers of education. You know, we've had a couple people already allude to their community engagement. I mean, that was amazing to me, how well they do that. And the neighborhood associations and so forth, how sold they are on their model and what they do. I think their plan for the investment in the site at this time and then into the future, I like that. And then, we heard from several different people that they have, or that they are a national example of best and equitable practices, that kind of thing. So we're not just talking about an outstanding school in Indianapolis, but an outstanding provider in the nation. There isn't much charter competition in South Bend. I've always found that competition makes everybody better. And so I think that might be, to allow Paramount into South Bend might benefit both providers. So those are just my thoughts for what they're worth. And thank you for allowing me the time to share those, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Brett. I appreciate that that summary, especially your the things that stood out most to you. So I appreciate that. Okay, so Don, Jamie, Barbara, any?
Sure, I'll go. And Brett, I think that's very, very appropriate to share our thinking for both groups prior to the vote. Certainly appreciate all the time that all of us on the committee have put in, and both applicants and also all the authorizers who have volunteered to prepare all the material. And I've read everything that came through, and I think both are really solid organizations that both kind of get across the line, if you will, on the academic, financial, and organizational viability issues. The Paramount's community support was very impressive. I was hopeful today that the decision would not necessarily be as tough as it is, but I do think that this is, but like you said, an area where we need to look at what diversifies the overall offerings for students in South Bend. I think that Paramount offers, it sounds like a very strong program. The national partners that they're working with are groups that have tremendous success in helping accelerate great models. And I think it's an organization that has demonstrated success in other places, has demonstrated the ability to be a good steward of facilities, and has demonstrated that they're a good steward of community relationships as well. So that's the direction that I'm leaning in. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
If I may just offer a comment, I thought that the Paramount presentation regarding reconfiguration of the building and the expansion not only of classrooms, but of the areas for co-curricular activities, and especially including the nitty-gritty like pick-up and drop-off procedures. I think every school safety plan dives into that pretty energetically. And I thought that it was a powerful idea to even go, to dig down into that nitty-gritty and include that in the presentation. I thought that was very helpful.
Thank you, Barbara. So as Don stated, it is a difficult decision when you have two people battling for the same goal, and both goals are going to be a benefit to the community. It's hard because you know that they're both coming from a place that is needed. I have no doubt that both schools will be successful in obtaining the goals for their charter as well as the community. As was stated before, I think that the overwhelming support from the community in regards to Paramount, in support of Paramount, was great to see. We do need to, make sure that our communities and our schools and our parents and our students are supportive of the schools that they attend, and that they're not just being forced to because it's in close proximity, or this is their only option. And that's the one great thing about charters, is that it is a choice. And so the the flip side to that, with Career Academy being established in South Bend already, that kind of swayed me to kind of look at them to see what more they could do for the community, and make their presence there even greater. So I did kind of look at them and try to give them that benefit. When I look at the academic success of schools, that's very important to me. Schools are coming up every year. New schools are coming up every year. Schools that have been in existence for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years, and being able to show academic success comparable to some data I was looking at with Paramount being comparable to Carmel schools, being comparable to some of those top Indianapolis schools. That was very important to me. I believe in the academic success of our students. It's not just about, the beautiful locations and we're doing this and we're doing all these great fun things. Can these students read, write, think analytically, understand, what's coming, towards them academically, and being able to persist year to year successfully. And that's what I looked at a lot of. And then how could that space be best used by either of the charters? And so I got a lot of good information, and I feel confident in the decision, or which direction that I feel will be best for the location. Okay. But I think I would have loved to seen, with Career Academy already being in South Bend, and you're looking to get another location, or to get a location in South Bend, I think that what really would have helped their argument is the support from the community, because you're there. So, and it could have just been an oversight, or something that that just was not done. But I would like to see more of that for a school that's already in South Bend. So that's my take. So does any of our other committee members have any last few things to say? I feel like we're at a point where we can make a decision.
So Lisa, this is Jamie. I would suggest, if you all feel like you're at a point where you could make a selection, to first vote on whether or not to proceed, so that you at least get on record. We feel like we have enough information. We're going to vote to make a selection, and then we can proceed with the selection itself, and vote on that.
Okay, so would that be a motion being held that we would proceed with the information that we have, like that? Is that what you're saying, Jamie?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, great. Okay, so I, with the recommendation from Jamie, I would entertain a motion from a committee member, if you are confident in moving forward with a decision based on the information that we have.
Lisa, I'll move to close deliberation and advance to the decision stage.
Thank you, Don. We have a motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Who will, Barbara or Jamie? I can't.
Yes, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara. We have a second from Barbara. Can we get a roll call vote, Jamie?
Yes. Sorry, I muted myself on accident. Okay. Brett.
Yes.
Jamie.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
And Barbara.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion has passed, and the committee has agreed to move forward, close to deliberation, and move forward with a decision. I will entertain a motion for a recommendation. Is that what we do, Jamie? We just make a recommendation as to your choice? I know I'm asking you, and I know it's uncharted waters, but
Yeah,
just in
I
case.
thought about this. You could do it. You could do it either way. You could have someone motion to select an individual school, and then you all vote on that. Or you could do a roll call vote where each of you indicate who you would select.
Okay.
I think either would be fine.
Okay. Okay, so let's do a roll call vote as to what charter you, each committee member is leaning towards. So can I get so we would do a motion to identify each committee member's selection for the charter.
Yes.
I motion to identify individual selections for the charter.
Okay, Jamie Brady has made the motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded by Brett. Okay.
And I'll do the roll call selection vote.
So Brett, she called you.
Okay. Thank you, Jamie. Paramount Schools of Excellence.
Okay. And Jamie?
Paramount.
Don?
Paramount Schools of Excellence.
Okay. Lisa?
Paramount School of Excellence.
And Barbara?
Yes, the Paramount Schools.
Okay. So you have a unanimous vote for selecting.
Okay, we have made the selection to award the school to Paramount Schools of Excellence, as stated, and with no other information on the agenda, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Jamie.
Support.
Seconded by Don. Jamie, can you do we need a roll call for adjournment?
Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Brett? You were
Yes.
And Jamie?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
And Barbara?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all so much. And congratulations.
I'd like to speak real quick on behalf of the authorizers. We just would really like to thank you all for all the work that you did in this. We know that this was a new process for everyone, and we just appreciate all the dedication and time that you took towards making this selection.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your support, Jamie and Marcy and Mr. Bentley. We appreciate it.
And
Thank
thank
you,
you, Lisa,
everyone.
for chairing this.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.